All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Flow Live. We were talking real healing, real conversation, real change. It's your healthy habits and lifestyle coach, Jovonnie, host of the Empire Place, Empire Lives podcast. And I'm here with
Miss Destini here, President and Executive Director of Black People Painting Incorporated.
Yeah, so y'all, I just want to get into it. I want to ask everyone before we really get started into the groove of the conversation, but what's one thing that you've lived with for so long that you stopped questioning it? One thing that you lived for so long that you stopped questioning it. Not what you've been diagnosed with, but what have you actually accepted? And so I'm going to put it in the comments and put it on the screen. What you got, Destiny Marie?
The first response that came to my head obviously was first endometriosis, and then he said not diagnosed with. And then the second thought that came to my mind was the bare minimum.
The
bare minimum.
The bare minimum. Okay.
I feel like had I made different choices in my life and not accepted the bare minimum from people, relationships, whatever the situation may have been, some things would have looked differently in my past than what they do now.
Gotcha. Okay. For me, I feel like something that I just kind of accepted was the unwanted facial hair. Like I saw it with other people in my family. So I was just like, okay, it's hereditary. It's just what's going to happen. It's just what it is. And so I feel like I will always, have unwanted facial hair or that heritism, I think is what they call it. Like I'll always have that. I think another thing for me that I just accepted is that I'll always have painful bowel movements, on my cycle, or just like it just may be one of those painful bowel movements when it's time to have a bowel. Those are some of the things that I feel like I've just accepted that necessarily weren't a diagnosis, but it was just like, that's just what it is. And I'm gonna give you a third one, Destiny Marie. I'm gonna say, fluctuated weight. Like I've gone through periods where my weight has gone up, and then I've had, times where my weight has gone really down. And so like that fluctuating weight gain, weight gain and weight loss has been something that I've experienced. So y'all make sure y'all let us know in the comments. Go ahead, Miss Marie.
I was gonna comment on that and want to comment on that. I'm sharing the live on my Facebook, so that's why I'm looking away. But right before my diagnosis, I was on birth control and had gained like 30, 40 pounds. And that was right before I moved down here to Florida. And then once the endometriosis, everything started getting worse and I was nauseous every day for almost a year. I went from 170 something all the way back down to my freshman year high school weight of 120 pounds. And when I look at pictures from that time period, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I look like a freaking piece of cardboard. So I definitely agree with the fluctuation of weight because that's still something that I don't say struggle with because for me it's not really a struggle, but it's definitely still something that I deal with.
Yeah. And I feel like I've seen that weight go down. I think the closest I got to 120. I didn't get to 120. I got to like 133, 135 when I was doing my raw plant-based living. And I did it for like 220 days. And I got all the way down to probably about 133, 135 was like the lowest. And I think the heaviest was like in the 180s. For me. So that you see, that's like a 50-pound drastic difference. So I think that's something that really stood out. Crystal with a K answered and said, live so long with unintentional people in my life. And I finally accepted to cut them off. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you get in. And so if y'all are just joining us a little late, or you catching the replay, make sure y'all drop it in the comments and let us know what's one thing you've lived with for so long that you stopped questioning it. And thank you, Crystal with a K, for tuning in. So let's kind of talk about normalization. So who told us that pain was normal, or that having people in our life unintentionally is normal, or the painful bowel movements, the fluctuating weight loss? Who do you feel like really talked to us, or kind of taught us, or put that impression around normalizing some of the things that we've experienced for so long?
I think that comes in for me. I don't have a personal person, but I think that just comes in society with the norms of not having conversations about menstrual health, not really talking about women's bodies and all the things that are going on with it. So I think that is a big contributor to it.
Okay, so not talking about menstrual health enough is what you got. Okay. And I agree with that, because I feel like even in health class in middle school and high school, they told us our period is coming, but they didn't really educate us on exactly what the period is, what's a normal period, what's the abnormal period. Even into high school, I feel like in high school they taught us about contraception, but they didn't necessarily talk to us about, the intricate details of what could be a problem and what couldn't be a problem when it comes to our periods, whether it's heavy periods. What is a heavy period? Are you changing your pad every 30 minutes? You know what I mean? Or are you going every 2 hours, 3 hours? Should you be using pads or tampons? What are the risks? What are the different types of products when it comes to that? How often are you having a period, or are you not having a period? So irregular periods is a big thing to talk about. Some of the physical signs that people can see, like the unwanted facial hair, to go and then talk to your doctor about it. And the pain. How many days are you missing school? Are you tired? Like, so many different things I feel like they could teach us in school, or have those conversations with our family members, versus, okay, I saw my mom have heavy periods. I saw my aunt have unwanted facial hair. I saw, like, you're seeing the things, but we're not talking about the things, and we're not asking the questions of, is this normal, or is this a sign or a symptom of something that we need to go deeper in regards to looking into? And so what I want y'all to do is I want y'all to finish this sentence. I'm gonna put it in the comments, and I want you to finish this sentence. Destiny Marie, is on you first to finish it. I thought blank was just part of being a woman.
I guess the first thing that popped into my head, I thought my painful periods were a part of being a woman, and that is absolutely false, completely false. The furthest thing from the truth.
I agree. I thought painful bowel movements during my period was just a part of being a woman. Y'all let us know in the comments, fill in that sentence for me. And we just want to be able to see what that normalizes. All right, Crystal with a case that I accepted it when people around me didn't seem alarmed by what was happening, especially with my heavy cycles and monthly visits to the doctor. If the doctor wasn't concerned, why would I be? That's heavy right there. And I like that you said that, because a lot of times we get our pace, our healing rhythm, our treatment rhythm from the doctors. We allow them to really set the tone, set the pace when it comes to giving us our report or our status of well-being. And so if they're not acting concerned, they're not asking follow-up questions, they're not running the test, they're not asking for MRIs, they're not asking how this impacts your quality of life, you're going to think it's just normal. It's just going to be what it is. And so I'm really glad that you talked about that. Like, if it's not a concern, you don't know what to really dive a little bit deeper in. And so I kind of just want to talk about how much of our life really revolves around our symptoms. When you think about your symptoms, Destiny Marie, do you plan your life around your symptoms? Are you expecting for a flare up? Do you is your life planned around your symptoms, or have you gotten to a place where it's not?
It's kind of hit or miss. I guess it just depends on the trend of symptoms. Because I mentioned before, some weeks, days, months, I'll be chronically nauseous. And so, and I also track my cycle. So it kind of just depends. And that goes into the tracking your cycle, being proactive and recognizing your triggers, and then monitoring your symptoms. So I don't have like a definite answer, because it kind of just depends on what my body is doing and how things are going, what are my stressors looking like, the things that I'm eating and consuming. So it really just kind of depends on what's happening that month or that menstrual cycle.
Got you. And I've gotten to a place where my period is regular now. Before, I used to miss months. I didn't always have a period. They were very painful. But now I've gotten to a point now where I have to go check the calendar to see when it's coming, so I am prepared. Because if I'm not, I don't get that knock on my uterus anymore, letting me know the time is coming. Or that week before, where everything just kind of shifts, your mood, your vibe, your energy, all the irritation, like those things aren't always there. And so I have to be ready. Like, I have to be, okay, is it time to go ahead and start preparing so I don't get a surprise and need to change, all my clothes. And so that's a big thing around just being ready. So there's no issues. But other than that, I've definitely seen a shift in really how it's impacting our life. And so I just really wanted to know what you guys saw in regards to that. I thought being a strong, resilient, and persevering through things was just part of being a woman, strong Black woman. And I feel like we get so much strength over the obstacles and challenges that we've overcome, and then realize we're still surviving. And yes, that surviving is success because it's helping us in that moment. But is it how we truly should be living on a regular day basis in straight survival mode? Not much anymore. Took those symptoms by the horn and buried most of them. Healthy habits and lifestyle change. Let's go. Let's go. So I just kind of want to start ending and concluding. And so we kind of talked about what we normalized, where that came from. But now I just want to ask y'all this last question. What have your symptoms stolen from you? Before, you thought this was normal, this is what you had to go through. Now you're planning your life around it. What have your symptoms actually stolen from you? What are some of those parts of yourself that disappeared? Was it your spontaneity, your dreams, your energy? If your body felt safe again, who would you become? So I just want to know, what have your symptoms stolen from you, if any?
I feel like the most easy way for me to answer that question is to say time,
Mm,
because with having endometriosis and the plethora of symptoms that come with it, whether I'm nauseous or I'm having leg pain or back pain or my head hurts or something like that, um, it has been a combination of pain and time that's being taken away from me, whether that's time at work, time at school, time just for self. It's taken time away from me to do what I already had planned to do or something I was already currently doing.
I feel like for me, that's Marie. I feel like my symptoms have stolen from me the confidence of always knowing exactly what I need when I need it. I think this journey with endometriosis, adenomyosis, polycystic ovary syndrome, and fibroids taught me that the body is complex. And even though on the outside you feel like you're living with intention, you're living a healthy life, some of those patterns, some of those lifestyle habits, some of the behaviors, some of the unmanaged stress, some of the unmanaged or processed trauma, some of just the toxic things that's just happening, the lack of rest. There's so many different lifestyle influences or impacts that can impact your health. And I think that I just kind of lost the confidence in thinking that I knew what healthy living was all about and that I was really thriving, when in actuality, I've just been in survival mode for so long that it was just something that I was programmed and wired to be in because that's all I knew. And so I think now is rebuilding that confidence and trust in myself and my body to realize that it's just a journey. Like, you're not going to figure it all out. Like, you don't know what's going to happen on the inside of your body. It's just really boils down to how you respond. And I think responding is the best way possible when dealing with life and navigating through life. Is, how do I check my response? How do I look at something differently? How do I educate myself to really empowering the next decision, the next behavior, the next thought, the feeling, the belief that comes up too? So I think that's it. That's all I really wanted to talk about today. Destini, did you want to add anything to it?
No, not today.
All right. So, y'all, as we wrap up, what's one thing you refuse to normalize anymore? We're not going to talk about all the things we talked about already that we normalized, but just what's one last thing that you would refuse to normalize anymore? And as you start to answer this question, make sure y'all go into the show notes and connect with Destiny Marie and myself. See all of the things that we have of value in the show notes. And thank y'all for tuning into another episode of Beyond the Flow Live as we wrap it up. But one thing you refuse to normalize anymore, let me hear it, because after today, after this live, after you watch this episode, it's a wrap. We ain't normalizing it no more. Drop it in the comments. What you got, Destiny Marie?
I'm taking it back to the icebreaker question of the bare minimum. I refuse to normalize the bare minimum anymore in any aspect of my life.
There you go. I refuse to normalize surviving, and I want to move into thriving and truly living life with purpose, on purpose, for myself, and not just existing, but truly living and loving and being light. Y'all let us know what you got in the comments. Destiny, you got anything for the people?
Other than visit my website, www.blackniffelpainting.com, for more resources on endometriosis. We have a symptom tracker and a whole bunch of other things to help you along your wellness journey.
All right, y'all. Check out forvibrations.me. Head over to the website, connect with me. Also, be ready for another episode of the Empire Place, Empire Lives podcast that drops this Wednesday. Y'all make sure you subscribe to both of our channels. But most importantly, thanks for vibing with us, y'all.